Every week we have to have this segment. Browns quarterbacks. Actually, now it's Browns quarterback, singular. We now have a #1 quarterback. DeShone Kizer, picked by Coach Hugh Jackson. And in the past, I talked about wanting Brock Osweiler, and then finally, I had to sort of give it up, because frankly, Brock Osweiler gave it up on the field. He threw 22 passes this year in preseason games, completed 12. His longest pass was for 10 yards. I mean, you know, again, hit myself over the head. I can't watch it anymore, and I don't think they could either. Brock, you know, I just don't understand whatever happened to you. So what about DeShone Kizer? And why was I so cautious and even approaching it with trepidation about having a rookie quarterback? Here we go. You can watch the preseason, and it isn't just simply that he isn't playing against all the starters he'll face in the regular season. I'm talking about any rookie quarterback. That's one part. Nor is it about the fact that he isn't even facing a team that's really preparing for him. Because remember, they're what we call spring training in baseball, or training camp. They don't really prepare for the opposing team. But here's the big deal. You don't even play anything close to 4 quarters. You play 1 quarter, maybe a quarter and a half. If you play, for example, in the Tampa game, the quote dress rehearsal, DeShone Kizer played 2 quarters. If this were a real game, at halftime, the Tampa Bay defensive coaches would have been in there with all their, they basically have all these pictures they take from upstairs of formations and things. They've been making a lot of adjustments. And also, what happens too is during the game, as the quarterback goes on and you're facing just a different pressure, it begins to wear you down mentally and physically. That is why often you will see a bad team during the regular season come out and maybe jump on a good team early. They've done some preparation themselves. They've pulled out a few surprises. Suddenly they're up 10-7 or something like that. But then the real game starts in the second half. And so that is what I'm very curious to see how Kizer deals with that. 4 quarters, not only the physical strain that it takes, but the mental strain, calling out the defenses, facing the different things, and also, let's face it, getting hit. That said, 6'4", 240 pounds, strong arm, bright guy. I like the fact he played at Notre Dame, so he's not going to just freak out the minute it gets cold here. So, think about so many of the other Browns quarterbacks in the past. Colt McCoy came from Texas. Johnny Manziel from Texas. In fact, most of their quarterbacks have come from the South. Brian Hoyer was an exception, and frankly, Brian Hoyer has been one of the better quarterbacks the Browns have had. Cleveland native, played at Michigan State. Now, I'm not saying always draft quarterbacks from the North, but I do think it really does help when you have that guy who's been through the bad weather and the wind. Before, playing in South Bend, Indiana, I will say Kizer's prepared at least for the weather. You know, Hugh Jackson's put himself on the line a little bit. He said, Kizer has the right stuff. And then he said, it's up to me to get it out of Kizer. So we'll see if he can.